everyone. This is Joel Pettit from Joel Pettit Law. This week on my vlog, I wanted to talk about being placed on the TDRL, the Temporary Disability Retirement List. Now, this is an important topic because it comes up a lot with my clients. And the first thing they ask is, why is this happening? Well, the first thing to remember is that the TDRL is reserved for people with unstable conditions. Now, my clients, as soon as I say that, always break out their VA paperwork and say, but it says permanent and total right here. How can I be permanent and total by the VA and not be on the Permanent Disability Retirement List, PDRL? Well, because as I said, TDRL is meant for unstable condition, and unstable and permanence, they can both exist at the same time. So you can have PTSD the rest of your life, but the stability of it, meaning how it ebbs and flows, changes. So the DoD, they put people on the TDRL because they know the person can't do their job anymore. Got it. But the question is, at what level? So really, it's not a question of ifs. It's not a binary question. It's a question of magnitude. So what they're saying, what I'm effectively saying is, let's say someone has a back condition, and their back condition is lower back condition is rated at 40% because they can barely tie their shoes. Okay, but if the back condition just came about, and the person hasn't even had, let's say, a surgical consult yet, or even nerve blocks or many other treatments that can be used for lower back, what will happen is the DoD will say, okay, we don't know how bad this really is, so let's put this person on the TDRL, and they'll get the treatment they need, and then we can see where the back is, because at that point, it's more likely than not that after, let's say they had a surgical consult and they say, hey, you're not a surgical candidate at this time. Okay, they have nerve blocks. They go see a chiropractor. And they say, well, nothing's changed. That's when the doctors usually say, hey, this is likely the permanent state of this person's back. Okay, so this is very different than someone who, let's say, has spinal fusion, where after you get a spinal fusion, that range of motion, how much you can bend one way or the other, that's permanent. That's going to stay that way forever because you're not unfusing your back. So in that case, you're 99.9% of the time going to see a PDRL, Permanent Disability Retirement List finding for that person if it reaches that 40% threshold for that condition, because there's no 30% for that condition. So that's why people just get confused with that permanence issue. Now, another question is when someone has, let's say, a high DoD percentage, let's say 90%, and they have a VA percentage of 100%. They wonder, how could I possibly ever be placed on the TDRL, because clearly I'm not dropping below that 30% threshold of retirement, because you need a 30% disability rating from the DoD to be retired. Well, simply put, if your conditions are, any one of them, are unstable, and let's say that without that unstable condition, you'd only be at 70%, well, then you don't qualify for what we in the legal community call the 80% rule. And that's in the DODI, the DoD instruction 1332.18 from November 10th of 2022. And it states that for individuals with unstable conditions that are not likely to improve to below 80%, that person will be permanently retired. So that means the diagnosis piece of the MEBR, the MEB report, right below that, there's the prognosis description, that if that says within the next 3 years, this person is not likely to get any better for this or any of these other conditions, and they end up equaling 80% disability or higher, because those are stable. And even without that extra condition that's unstable, take it away, and let's say you're still at 80%, that's when you can have an unstable condition plus others that will equal the PDRL. So I know this is confusing. It's been confusing my clients for years. It confused me when I first started this because it's like the tax code. There's not a this logic doesn't flow naturally, but it is the legal logic behind this system. So being placed on the TDRL is not the end of the world. It is not a heavy lift, but it is confusing, and it can it can make you feel as though you have a sword swinging above your head constantly, and you just don't know when it's going to drop. So if you're feeling pressure about these issues or any other issues concerning the IDES, please give me a call, visit my website, read my blog, and keep tuning in for my vlog, and I'll keep trying to give you as much information as I possibly can. Until then, stay safe, everyone. Have a good day.